Hey guys, how are you doing? Today is another Friday, October 8th. Then just when I am recording, then now has typhoon coming to Hong Kong, right? But there's backwind now in Hong Kong, but I don't think it will for long. So today we will, I think you will be, a lot of investors in US stock will be more happy because yesterday and then the day before it rose sharply because the debt ceiling has been temporary solved then up till December, right? December is 2 months from now. So a lot of investors, including me, much more happy, right? Because it stopped the dropping. Today we will take some time to review Charlie. I don't want to always use the name part of Warren Buffett. You know, a lot of media still use the name partner of Warren Buffett. That is Charlie Munger. I don't want to use that anymore because he is very independent, wisdom, and then he is already 97 years old already. Warren is 92, 93, and Charlie is 97 already. So I think he is independent enough, right, for a very smart investor, not using the name of partner of Warren Buffett anymore, right? So Charlie has been doubled Alibaba's holding. We just know that 2 days before. So let us examine, see what Alibaba's, why it's dropping. I think it's dropping is not only because of the policy. Not only because of the policy. And then the business is also not doing very good from this year's April to June, right? So our Falcon portfolio been increased for some percentage after it stopped dropping to 84% for 20 months. Right. So if for any stocks or for any subjects you want me to discuss, you can leave your message under the YouTube or you can email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. So this is our Falcon portfolio, and then first time we see a negative is on Facebook. First time since 20 months, right? Been after this portfolio been established. Is first time the stock has a negative is Facebook, right? We will have some words on, right? So this is the covering, then we will go over the performance of Alibaba at the later stage of this program. So yesterday Dow Jones increased at 370 points, something like that. Right, and yesterday rise at 155 points, right? So we will be more happy, right? So a lot of readers leave a message to me. Then they're asking if there is if there is a debt ceiling, then should we sell all the US stock? I said not necessarily, right? It happened every year, so mark it down. Next year, the same thing, right? So yesterday, the U.S. Senate votes to temporarily extend the debt ceiling to avoid the default. And then it extended to December. That means 2 months later. I tell you that it will be solved like more than 10 years before. Every year is like that, right? No need to be afraid on that. Facebook. I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't like him, right? But actually, now today this whistleblower, I don't think that the job of Facebook is mainly because of this whistleblower. A lot of negative on Facebook, how to treat the discussions on the forum, how they are screening the message. What is their logarithm, something like that, right? A lot of things that is pointing to Facebook. But we can see that a lot of people in this world, right? Not me, I'm not using Facebook. A lot of people still using Facebook. Like my friends just immigrated to UK, then he just uploaded his family photo onto the Facebook, and then I just say hi to him, right? So a lot of people still using Facebook, right? A lot of people still using YouTube, and then Twitter, and then Instagram, and a lot of people in Hong Kong. I think nearly more than half of the people in Hong Kong is using WhatsApp. That is Facebook. So we'll see the real effect on Facebook's revenue from the advertisers. Will they stop or cut some advertisement on Facebook? And then if they cut some advertisement on Facebook, then where should they paste their advertisement to? Paste to Twitter? They paste to YouTube? Financial Times? Right? Don't be kidding, right? So let's see, right? Let's see how it goes. So JP Morgan said it's a good time for you to buy the dip of Facebook, right? So this is what you can see. The share price of Facebook dropped it. Actually, it's not a lot during this last few weeks dropping of the US stock market. It dropped at about 12%, right? A little bit more than before, right? Before it's also dropped it. The share price also dropped it before, right? So let's see, right? Not necessary for you to sell out all the Facebook at this time, right? So let's see how the performance, how the advertiser react, right, after this whistleblower issue. So the second thing I want to mention is Match, right, and then is Tinder. Actually, Match stock price is quite okay, right? It's not dropping sharply during this U.S. stock markets dropping. So Tinder is getting its own app currency. It's a crypto. I like the company that have good things, have new things coming in, add the new things to it, right? It added the cryptocurrency. I don't know if it's a Bitcoin or the doggy or not, right? But I think in sooner or later, not to be in China, 100%, and then all the cryptocurrency mining is getting out of China already. So China's speaking of cryptocurrency won't affect its price for long because it's all crypto, right? So that's what it is. And it's very clever for Tinder. Also, we know that PayPal is already start doing Light Square, doing for the cryptocurrency. Not only now, it's not only Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, Doggy, right, and Ethereum, right? Ethereum, right? Very difficult to pronounce, right? So all of them are using cryptocurrency for payment already. So if there is the ordinance from the U.S. government for right control of how it's going, then I think it's okay, right? So I'm quite open-minded, not like China government. They don't want any cryptocurrency in China except for RMB's digital currency, right? So that is, I don't think that's correct. So we talk about, I want to say more because that for Tinder, using cryptocurrency, they start in Australia first, right? Not in America. She started in Australia first, right? So we thinking, we all know that although now Charlie is 97 years old already, then his mind is still very clear. He's still going to CNBC, right? You can see him on the TV. You can see him appears on the media. And then his mind is always very clear. And then we know it 2 days before, during the sharp falling of Alibaba, then he increased the holding, nearly to a double. 182% he increased his holding. Then what is Charlie thinking? We can see Alibaba share price. I dumped it out a little bit at 10 or 15% after it falls from the peak, right? So you can see from this share price historical data, you can see it dropped it. Alibaba's stock price dropped it nearly half, right? The peak is nearly 300, and then Even yesterday, it rose more than 10%. Then it dropped at nearly half. And then on the PE ratio is 18.72. It's quite low, but the PE low doesn't mean that it is worth to buy. Let us examine some data from the performance report. We should know that during the pandemic, all the e-commerce been rising up, and then Alibaba is like e-commerce, right? We know Taobao and Skycan, right? So it should not affect Alibaba's performance, right? It should not affect. It's not like Target, JCPenney, then they have a real shops, right? But Alibaba is different, right? Taobao and Skycat, and then they are e-commerce. So the pandemic should boost it up, not give a worse effect. So we can see the revenue increased. It is from this year's. In China, it's called Q2, second quarter, from April to June. Then we can see the revenue is all in US dollar, increased at 35%. And then the net income decreased at 8%. If we do the adjustment, the adjusted net income increased at 10%. So only from this, you can see the revenue increased a lot. But why the income increased much less than the revenue? Because the efficiency drops. It has a lot of expenditure. Some expenditures that money is taken by the government, right, to save the Evergrande, and then some of the money is going to the pocket of the employees because the employee salary increased, something like that. So you can see the efficiency of Alibaba's dropping. It dropped it quite a lot. At least what we require is the revenues increase is in the same percentage of the net income, but sure it's not. So a lot of the revenue being eaten up by inflation, by salary, by fixed expenditure. They have to do that, otherwise they will be taken over by the competitors. So this is more clear, right? Alibaba has four business, but only one is earning money. One and only one is the commercial. The commercial is Taobao and Skycat, right? And then others, cloud computing, digital media, new business, all losing money for a long time already. But their percentage is quite low to the total. You can see the commercial, this sector is 27.9 billion, and then it occupied 87.6% of the whole business. And then for the other, cloud computing 7.8, digital media 3.9, and new business is only less than 1%, right? So everything concentrate on the commercial, and the revenue increased at 35%. We can see shareholders' profit drops 5%. We are shareholders. That means our profit drops 5%. Right? This is not good. And the cash on hand is 72.9 billion US dollar, and the long debt is 25.4 billion. So Alibaba up till now is still a net cash company, right? So the thing we should ask, you are not just blindly follow Charlie. This is what he taught us, right? Don't blindly follow, right? So this is the question you should ask yourself. Now the share price is cheap. Is it cheap? Remember, at the second quarter, and then the net income increment is 10%. And then you can see the PE ratio is 18. All right. Is it cheap? No. Not necessary. Maybe it's not expensive, but it's not cheap. All right. So we have this in mind first. Now this share price is not cheap. Second, does the business drop because of the policy only? some reason, not all reason. Maybe the economy of China is dropping, so the expenditure dropping. But there is something very interesting is when the economy is bad, everyone is bad. I don't know which one earns the money. Alibaba has to pay the benefits, they has to pay the social benefits, they have to increase the salary, right? To the workers, right? To the workers. But it's not the workers they earn the money from, they earn the money from the citizens, right? But a lot of people in China, then they lose the jobs, right? They lose the jobs, and then maybe their earning is cut half, and then they don't want to they don't want to spend, right? They don't want to spend, or they just buy the things more cheap, and then they compare the same items with different, right? With different sellers. It's not only Alibaba, Tencent, right? And then the Skynet, something like that, right? It's not only Taobao is now doing this kind of thing in China. A lot of e-commerce now in China, right? So that's the thing that they can't increase the price, right? So does the price drop only because of the government policy? Maybe not. Half of it is the economy of China's dropping. And then what Taobao is selling is not only the basic things of the citizen needs, not only like the water, the food, right? They will sell some TV, right? Some earplugs, right? For some other luxury things. Then for those kind of things, then people will be very selective because they don't have the money as before. So remember the point to no, not only because of business drop. Third, will the business becomes much better after the pandemic's over? Not sure is the answer. It will be better after the pandemic, maybe next year, right? Maybe next year. But the point is, will it become much better? It will depends on China's policy with America, with Europe. If it only rolls inside China, it will get worse. If it will get worse, then Alibaba gets worse. Because the people has no money, right? It doesn't matter you sell it on the internet, you sell it in the real shops. I have less money, then I will be more picky in buying things. For the things that I only buy the things I need, and I will check the prices for different shops and then on different on different website before I make the decision. So it's more picky. All right. So will the business becomes much better after the pandemic is over? We don't know. Probably not. Probably that is yes, but not much. Any strong competitors rise in between? Yes. The answer is 100% is yes. Right. The strong point is Alipay. You know that previously, why the people has to? I answer number 4 and number 5 together. Previously, the policy is inclined to Alibaba because of the Alipay. You can only use the Alipay for Alibaba, for Taobao, Skynet, and then you can only use the WeChat Pay, right, or the Tencent Pay for Tencent, right? So you can't pay the money except you use Alibaba, except you use Alipay, right? So the policy is inclined to Alibaba, but now is no more. All the others can have their own e-payment, right? That means Tencent you can use WeChat Pay on the Taobao and then vice versa. And there's a lot of this kind of e-commerce website in China. But for one thing, you can check different websites. You can use 5 or 6 kinds of e-payment. So the policy inclined to Alibaba doesn't exist anymore. So if you ask me, will I increase the holdings of Alibaba? I will not, because this price is not cheap. This price is not expensive, but this price is not cheap. And the point is a lot of strong competitors rolled in now in China. So can Alibaba still keep its position? Maybe this share price, right? Maybe, and only maybe, then it goes to the dip. That means the bottom. But it will not increase as before. Everyone is still have the image of China as 1.4 billion people, right? But the point is 1.4 billion people, then the economy of China has to go up. If 1.4 billion people but the economy go down, then we will see how they survive first before we can increase the holding of that, right? I don't think that actually Charlie will lose money furthermore on Alibaba, but I don't think that he will earn a lot, right? May not be a bad decision, but may not bring a lot of money to Charlie, but it doesn't matter because he is rich already, and then he's 97 years old already, right? So you are not necessary to only listen to me. So you can think of these 5 questions. Then if you get a yes, then you can hold it, right? If you got a negative, then you can turn to a lot of good stock now for you, a lot of cheap stock now for you in the US stock market. After the dropping, then you can pick up, right? So you have a lot of choices, right? Okay, so we share up till now, and if you like this program, please give me a like, and then if you have some friends, then also you think he or she may like it, then please share to her, and then please help to press the subscribe and then press the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is a new program uploaded, YouTube will inform you immediately. Okay, then we share up till now, and thanks for watching, and then I hope everyone has a very peaceful weekend. Let us see again next Friday. Bye bye.